Activision Blizzard has been dragged through the mud over the past few years with headline after headline of negative press, unhappy gamers, and distraught employees. This includes a horrendous ongoing lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, where many women were allegedly sexually harassed, assaulted, and psychologically traumatized. The gaming franchises that many of us grew up with have been tarnished year after year by Activision Blizzard's series of significant missteps. With Microsoft announcing it is acquiring Activision Blizzard with an expected close in its fiscal year ending June 30th of 2023, one burning question is at the top of every gamer's mind. Can Phil Spencer save Activision Blizzard? Growing up, I remember how excited I was to turn on my computer to play some Diablo, Starcraft, and Warcraft. These were franchises that I held in the highest regard as a kid, but today is a much different story. Let's start off by revisiting what exactly happened to our beloved franchises, then see if the legendary Phil Spencer has a chance at saving them. Activision and Blizzard merged in 2008, making it one of the largest gaming companies on the planet, with key franchises like Call of Duty, Diablo, Warcraft, and Starcraft. Since this time, Bobby Kotick has oversaw both Activision and Blizzard as its chief executive officer. Diablo 3 was released on May 15th of 2012 and left much to be desired. Gamers had patiently waited 11 years since the release of Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, for the next installment in the Diablo universe, and I think it's safe to say Diablo 3 did not live up to the expectations. The general feel of the game did not capture the dark, hellish atmosphere that Diablo 1 and 2 were known for. There was no permanency for player decisions when building a character. Although some may view this as a positive, others preferred the idea of having to make a new character for different builds, as this added replayability to the game. In addition, Diablo 3 could not be played offline, which created even more backlash. With all of that said, the biggest issue the game had from launch was the auction house. For starters, players were able to pay with real money for items, adding a pay-to-win element to Diablo 3, which most gamers would agree is a fantastic way to make a game not fun at all. Pay-to-win completely eliminates the logic of farming for gear when you could just pay for it at an amount much less than what your time is actually worth. You were also able to use the auction house to buy items with gold, which also created issues since the auction house seemed to be flooded with endgame items right away. This eliminated the need to find your own gear, since you could easily obtain high-end gear fairly easily on the auction house, although the stats would obviously not even be close to being perfect. The auction house was removed on March 18th of 2014. BlizzCon 2018 was an absolute disaster, which demonstrated Blizzard's complete lack of understanding for their consumers and what they want. At a time when gamers were excited at a potential announcement of the long-awaited Diablo 4 at BlizzCon, not only did they not get a Diablo 4 announcement, they got an announcement for a Diablo game they didn't even want.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No.
Diablo Immortal was announced as a new game you can play on your phone on iOS and Android devices. While you simply can't deny the massive market of mobile gaming, BlizzCon was definitely not the place to announce a game, especially when everyone was expecting a Diablo 4 announcement. It is a passionate gaming enthusiast that goes to the BlizzCon events. These gamers are playing Blizzard games on their PC and want to hear about the next PC games. A Diablo mobile game may have a massive audience of more casual gamers, but the PC gamer attending the BlizzCon event is probably not the target audience for mobile games. However, they could have avoided this massive backlash by having some type of announcement for Diablo 4, since this is what everyone expected and truly wanted. In February of 2019, Activision Blizzard began laying off nearly 800 employees, representing approximately 8% of its staff. While these were mostly employees in non-development sectors, it did not look good for the company after CEO Bobby Kotick called 2018 a record year. Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime announced he was leaving the company in 2018 and officially left on April 7th of 2019 to start a new gaming company, Dreamhaven, which included a roster of top ex-Blizzard talent in key roles. If that wasn't bad enough, another Blizzard co-founder, Frank Pierce, also left the company later in 2019 after 28 years of working at the company. In October 2019, a Hearthstone player was issued a year-long ban because he supported Hong Kong protests during a live stream. This created a massive backlash as many perceived Blizzard to place higher values on financial gain, particularly in China, than to promote human rights and basic freedoms to express individual thoughts and opinions. It was so bad that even a bipartisan group of United States senators and Congress members got involved with the situation. Bipartisan means it involves members of two parties, for example Republicans and Democrats, which is pretty significant since parties usually like to separate themselves from each other and take opposing views. Warcraft 3 Reforged is a remastered edition of the classic Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos and the expansion The Frozen Throne from 2002. The remaster was released on January 28th of 2020, and calling it half-baked would be a significant understatement. Cinematics were not great in the remaster, core features from the original game were removed, there was no ranking system, and there were terrible bugs including those dealing with connectivity issues. The result? The lowest Metacritic user score I have ever seen. Budget cuts and mismanagement is what was blamed for this disastrous launch of a game, if you could even call it that. Blizzard's ongoing cash cow, World of Warcraft, also seems to be on a steady decline. While Activision Blizzard stopped publishing World of Warcraft subscription numbers back in 2015, they do publish the total monthly active users for all Blizzard games. While we do not know exactly how many users are playing World of Warcraft specifically, we can see the monthly active users for Blizzard games are on a consistent decline since Q2 of 2017. World of Warcraft is one of the biggest games for Blizzard, so it is likely the steep decline in monthly active users is a result of less World of Warcraft players each quarter. With World of Warcraft releasing expansions roughly every 2 years since its original release in 2004, and even more major patches along the way, it would be impossible to analyze player reactions to every decision that is made in the World of Warcraft universe. The decline in Blizzard monthly active users may suggest players are unhappy with the current state of World of Warcraft. However, you can also argue that the fact that this game still exists with such a large player base even after significant declines when the game originally launched back 2 decades ago in 2004 is an incredible triumph and testament to how good the core experience of World of Warcraft actually is. By far, the most horrendous situation at Activision Blizzard is the ongoing lawsuit against the company that was made public on July 20th of 2021 by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. Many women were allegedly sexually harassed, assaulted, and psychologically traumatized, as those in power at Activision Blizzard seemingly did little or nothing to stop this behavior. This has led to employees participating in walkout protests and many leaving the company. Many gamers have also boycotted Activision Blizzard games after hearing the horrendous information shared by employees and former employees. Even J. Allen Brack ended up stepping down as Blizzard president amidst this lawsuit. After covering some of the negativity and terrible actions of Activision Blizzard, is there any hope, or should we just give up on the gaming company? The fact is, Activision Blizzard still owns franchises that many of us grew up with, including Diablo, Warcraft, Starcraft, Call of Duty, and Overwatch. Diablo 4 does show promise of returning the series into the much darker, hellish game we wish Diablo 3 was. The trailer shows the demonic atmosphere we all demand from the Diablo series. Overwatch 2 also has many gamers excited for the next installment in the series. Many people love the free-to-play Call of Duty installment, Warzone. The Diablo 2 remaster, Diablo Resurrected, had a number of issues including significant server issues at launch, but this remaster was a massive improvement compared to the Warcraft 3 Reforged debacle. World of Warcraft implemented WoW Classic, which is something gamers were pleading for. There are also so many other possibilities for new games as well from the Activision Blizzard studios that can reconnect gamers to the company. However, before this happens, the horrifying allegations in the lawsuit against Activision Blizzards need to be addressed, and a significant change within the company must occur. It just so happens that Microsoft announced it was acquiring Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion and expects the deal to close in fiscal 2023 year, which ends June 30th of 2023. Enter Phil Spencer. To start off, the Wall Street Journal reports that the current CEO of Activision Blizzard, Bobby Kotick, is expected to leave the company once the Microsoft deal closes. Why doesn't Microsoft simply state Bobby Kotick will be fired? Most likely to allow him to save face and exit the company with any further humiliation. With that aside, we know Phil Spencer will oversee Activision Blizzard once the deal goes through. In my opinion, none of these issues that we have looked at would have happened if Phil Spencer was leading the company. Warcraft 3 Reforged would not have been released until it was ready if Phil Spencer was in charge. Halo Infinite was supposed to release with the launch of the Xbox Series X on November 10th of 2020, but was delayed by a year to give 343 Industries more time to develop the game. This shows how Phil Spencer is not concerned about trying to make the most amount of money in the fastest amount of time. He is willing to give more time when needed to make sure us gamers do not have to deal with half-baked games. In fact, Bloomberg reported that Treyarch's next Call of Duty game will not release in 2023. This year's Call of Duty is still scheduled to release on time. If this report is true, then 2023 will be the first year since 2004 the Call of Duty series has not had a mainline entry. In my opinion, Phil Spencer would not have allowed the pay-to-win Diablo 3 real money auction house to be included in the game. Pay-to-win games hurt gamers by giving advantages to anyone willing to pay real money to get a leg up, which leads to more and more people being forced to pay more money to play the game competitively. This anti-gamer approach would not fly under Phil Spencer, as his decisions always seem to put gamers first. With the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, you can bet that many of its games will be added to Game Pass, further increasing the already insane value gamers get from the service. Phil is not trying to squeeze every dollar out of gamers. In fact, he does the exact opposite. He tries to give the most value possible to gamers shown with Game Pass. I don't think I need to say it, but I will anyways. Phil Spencer would absolutely not tolerate any form of misconduct, sexual harassment, or assault. The thought of what was allegedly allowed to happen at Activision Blizzard under Bobby Kotick's watch is disheartening and completely unacceptable. Phil Spencer has successfully overseen a long list of game studios acquired by Microsoft, including Mojang Studios in 2014, which develops Minecraft, Playground Games in 2018, which develops the Forza Horizon series, and ZeniMax Media, which includes Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, and Machine Games. Phil Spencer's typical approach to game acquisitions is to let the developers continue to create and manage their own games. But under the Activision Blizzard acquisition, Phil Spencer will certainly have to have a lot more involvement in the company, as many changes need to happen to fit it within the Xbox Game Studios culture that always put gamers first and have zero tolerance of misconduct of anyone, including its employees. I am hopeful that many gamers who have recently boycotted Activision Blizzard will feel comfortable coming back to the franchises they love, knowing change is coming and will be enforced by Phil Spencer. As a loyal fan of Activision Blizzard, I feel angry with how the company was run over the past decade. Activision Blizzard needs change, and Phil Spencer is the answer. Before we get ahead of ourselves, we still have a significant hurdle to overcome, even before Phil Spencer has a shot at saving Activision Blizzard. That hurdle is antitrust regulators. Before an acquisition of this size can take place, the government will scrutinize whether this creates a monopoly or will hurt consumers by providing a single company with too much power in a specific industry with little to no competition. If the deal goes through, Microsoft will not have a monopoly in the gaming industry because they would only be the third largest gaming company in the world. Number 1 would be Chinese company Tencent, and number 2 is Japanese company Sony. In addition, I think Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard is actually good for the consumer, and especially employees at the company, as Microsoft would enforce zero tolerance for misconduct. Another reason why I believe the deal will go through is the government seems to have a soft spot for Microsoft, at least in comparison with other large cap companies like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. Each of these companies have been under scrutiny of Congress in recent years and even had to attend an antitrust hearing back in 2020, but for some reason, Microsoft was not required to attend when their market cap is larger than Google, Facebook, and Amazon. In addition, if the government blocks the acquisition, Microsoft will have to pay Activision Blizzard $2 billion to $3 billion. While this money may not be significant to Microsoft, I think it still shows confidence that they believe the deal will go through. Microsoft has also pledged a number of promises to help persuade the regulators, including saying the company will allow third-party app stores on its platforms. Microsoft also committed to Sony that popular franchises from Activision Blizzard will remain available on PlayStation under the existing deal with Sony, and has offered to extend the deal on a multi-year basis. I personally believe there is a high probability the deal will go through for all of these reasons, and more specifically because Microsoft would still be behind a Chinese and Japanese company in the gaming industry, even if this deal was allowed. It would look very bad on the US government if they prevented a US company from being competitive in the gaming industry that is dominated by a Chinese and Japanese company. However, I will add that the stock market is pricing in a large probability the deal does not go through. Activision Blizzard stock closed at $81.23 per share on February 22nd of 2022, when Microsoft has agreed to buy the company at $95 per share, which means the stock market believes there is a chance the deal will not go through. I wouldn't put too much weight into this point, as the stock market can be very irrational at times, but this is a gaming channel, so I'll just leave it at that. One point I want to address is, should Microsoft have purchased Activision Blizzard after hearing the horrific allegations of how the company has treated its employees in the past? I have seen several comments when reading different articles on the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and some people are upset that Microsoft would buy a company that appears to significantly lack ethical standards. While I respect this point, I look at the situation very differently. Activision Blizzard has several incredibly profitable franchises that are not going anywhere. Either Activision Blizzard continues under the same working conditions that Bobby Kotick has allowed, or the company gets bought out and has different leadership that would enforce proper behavior within the company. Personally, I prefer the latter, and under that scenario, Microsoft is the best company to oversee Activision Blizzard in my opinion, because of Microsoft's strong commitment to its ethical standards and Phil Spencer's solid reputation for doing what is right. Because I grew up playing Diablo, Warcraft, and Starcraft, I consider myself to be a loyal fan of Activision Blizzard, but I am both hurt and angry with all of these events that have taken place over the past decade, and I'm disgusted by the horrific allegations the company is facing in the lawsuit. Gamers should not be put into a position where we have to ask ourselves if we should support a developer when its ethics seem to be non-existent. That is why I was ecstatic when I heard Microsoft was acquiring Activision Blizzard. There is no one more trusted in the gaming industry than Phil Spencer, and if anyone has the ability to turn the company around, there's absolutely no doubt that person is Phil Spencer. Let me know in the comments what you think about Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard and if you think Phil Spencer can save the company. This is a very touchy subject and I've seen a whole wide range of comments on the matter, with some people upset Microsoft would acquire a company with such bad reputation in recent years. Again, Activision Blizzard will continue whether Microsoft buys them or not, but I think the company will have no tolerance for misconduct with Microsoft buying them out, which is the basis for my opinion that this acquisition is very positive. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps this channel out. Have an amazing day.